In your court, or in that court, are there bench trials? Are they all jury trials? Are they a mixture or what?
They're both.
They are?
Yes, sir, they're both. And if I could, the question that was posed earlier about kind of being able to track and judges being accountable, that was a really interesting question. I would be happy. I agree with what Mr. Lambright said about the public records and having to go and get it yourself, but I was kind of thinking about, I agree with that. And all the judges do have a link on the county website. I would be more than happy to, make a little list of any big cases that have come through, that if it's a criminal case and y'all want to know what my ruling was, I'll put it on there. I have no problem doing that. I'm very accountable for what I've done. Oh, and I wanted to mention one more thing. I'm glad I mentioned that. One thing that I do want to do with this court, I perceive that there's a little bit of extra time in the court, and that's something a couple of my opponents had brought up, was that they felt like there was some time that could be better utilized in the court. What I'm wanting to do with that time, I don't think it's enough to add a full criminal docket, because the court does already handle the probate and civil and bond forfeiture cases. But I started thinking about what cases can we make an impact on if there was a specific type of case. And we have assault family violence cases in Montgomery County. I've been talking to the Women's Center, and it's greatly on the rise. It's going up. It's a problem. It's a big problem. Part of the problem is, once someone calls the police, finally gets beat enough that they call the police, once the person who hit them or who abused them gets out of jail, well, they harass that person to drop the charges. So the last statistic I got was 60 a month are dropping charges. And all that happens is those people get hurt again until eventually, it has a very, very bad ending, and there are kids involved in this. I think those are very time-sensitive cases, and I think we need to get to them more quickly. So I would like to dedicate a portion of the court's time to get a specialized docket to address that. So that's talking about criminal punishments made me think of that. I wanted to let y'all know that.
Currently, the court is closed on Fridays, from my understanding. Are you going to be in there 40 hours a week, working on Fridays?
I personally guarantee you I will be in there more than 40 hours a week. I can have the court open so the staff that the county pays for can be functioning in the courtroom for that 40 hours. As far as my time in the back ruling on things that have been put for submission that don't have to be in the courtroom, I can do that after hours. I have no problem with that. My husband and I are kind of workaholics. I really like working, and that's really what I've dedicated my life to is working, and I like to work.
Do you have children?
I don't have children. My husband and I, we've been married for 9 years, and we've tried and tried and tried, and between the last campaign and this campaign, we've tried to get some help from some doctors, and that's why I actually delayed announcing my candidacy, because had I gotten pregnant, I would have wanted to focus on that, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen for us. So we don't have children, and that's why I say my focus is really on my job, because I just think that's what God has put in front of me right now. So that's what I'm focusing on. Until he directs me otherwise, that's where I am. And my husband is here, and I have to say thank you to him, because we ran a campaign in 2008, so this is like year 3. He has a halo, y'all just can't see it.
Thanks, Judge Judy. I like your effort to be strong. I'm very concerned. You mentioned family, domestic problems, but I'm very concerned about sexual predators who are turned loose, like this man in California. And I've almost come to the conclusion that should a judge or anybody turn this guy loose, that the judge serves his sentence. I'm sorry, that's the way it is.
That's probably not a bad idea.
I know you don't like to hear that, but
I do.
I'm serious about that. We've got to stop these guys, and I understand some women are involved now, but would you handle those kind of cases?
No, sir. Sexual predators are all, thank goodness, felony level offenses. County courts can only send people to the county jail, and only for a year. So obviously that's not half enough for what you're talking about. So jurisdiction for those types of offenses are in our felony courts, which is the 221st District Court, who the candidates are going to speak next for that. They would have jurisdiction over that type of case.
I should have asked them.
I'm sure you will.
I have a quick question. There's been one of the other races, there was a lot of talk about electronic records and dockets. How do you feel about that? Having private information available online as far as that goes?
I think we need that. The county, I'm assuming you're talking about the district clerk race.
Clerk and county clerk, they're
Yeah.
talking about that.
We really need that. We need things to be online. It's important to have private information redacted, but really the attorneys don't want to be sued, so we really are pretty fastidious about not putting social security numbers, not putting dates in there, and it's all public record anyway. So whether it's online or whether you have to walk to the clerk's office, you're going to see it. So yeah, it does need to be online, and it's not right for people who are maybe litigating a case in Montgomery County, and they might be in Amarillo, they might be in another state, and they're having to come, to look at that stuff in person, and here I just have to walk across the street. It's kind of, the scales of justice are kind of tipped there. So yeah, I think we do need to get that done. Thank you. I'll be here if anyone thinks of anything afterwards. Thank you.